Hey, hello, and welcome to All In Leadership Podcast. I'm David Gadberry, the founder of All In Leadership Coaching and Consulting, and I'm glad you've decided to join with us today. You know, we love to talk about leadership here. Leadership is very important. It's more important now, I think, than ever since I've been alive, because there are so many opportunities for leadership, but so much necessity for it as well. So today we're going to talk about something that leaders don't talk about a lot, and that is the weight of leadership. A lot of times we don't like to talk, leaders, CEOs, entrepreneurs, people who are leading other people, people who are developing leaders, don't like to talk about the weight of leadership, the difficulty. You know, leadership is rewarding, it's meaningful. Leadership is a calling, but it's also heavy. You know, sometimes we don't acknowledge that, we don't think about it. I've had a lot of experience with a lot of young leaders, and I've been a young leader myself way in the past. And I'll tell you the truth, I think because of the zeal to do and to make things happen and to dream and to encourage and all these things as a young person, you think that you have kind of a corner on the market. You think that you have this, this whole thing down, and you don't realize it until you're actually in the seat of the leader of an organization, of a ministry, sometimes even of your own family. And when you get in that spot, all of a sudden you realize that leadership is more than all this exciting stuff that you see or think it is. Sometimes it just comes down to it's heavy, it's weighty. And sometimes we're not ready for that, and we don't realize that. And I will just tell you that if you go into leadership and don't acknowledge that part of it, you'll end up being frustrated, hurt, and disappointed a lot, because you're not acknowledging that the responsibility of leading others weighs on you. And you become a person who realizes, oh man, this is more than just about me and about some dream. This affects and impacts a lot of other people's lives. And, especially business owners. I know a lot of business owners that, they get to that point where they get really almost discouraged, because when they're going through something hard or the business isn't taking off like it needs to, they don't just think about the business making it. They don't just think about the dream that's out there. They think about the people that are working for them. They think about the mortgages they have to pay. They think about the families, the kids, the opportunities, not just for themselves and their family, but for everyone that's working with them and for them. And that can be weighty. And it's the same way in ministry, especially in ministry, because you're not just responsible for the people you're leading on a staff, you're responsible for all your congregants. And so it's just another level of what is my responsibility. And so leadership is weighty in and of itself, but sometimes we make it more heavy than it needs to be because we try to carry things probably we shouldn't be carrying. So let's think about it. The decisions we make as leaders are heavy. The responsibility is heavy. The burden of carrying people and caring for people is heavy. And if we're not careful, leaders begin carrying things that we weren't really designed to carry. And here's the reality of leadership. Leadership oftentimes feels lonely. When people look at leadership, they see the platform, they see influence, they see success. What they don't see, and I mean this, I want to stop for a minute and just say, look, I'm not wanting any leaders to act like victims or think like victims or like we have it so bad. No, we chose leadership. We want leadership, but we also need to understand the realities of leadership. And so a lot of times we see the platform and the influence and the success, but what we don't see is the sleepless nights. We don't see the difficult conversations. We don't see the decisions that we make, where every decision we make is going to hurt somebody, and how that affects you and how that makes you feel and how that can even impede your passion and your desire to do something great. Leadership carries emotional weight. It carries spiritual weight. It carries relational weight. It carries organizational weight. And the danger is that so many leaders mistake carrying responsibility for carrying ownership. You know, Moses learned this. Moses tried to carry an entire nation by himself. And eventually his father-in-law saw what he was doing and he said, "What you're doing is not good." Now, I want you to notice what he didn't say. That statement is very powerful. What you're doing, Moses, isn't good. Moses thought he was doing great. He's leading the children of Israel. He's doing what God asked him to do. But he owns the vision of this. But now he's taking on certain responsibilities that aren't necessarily just his. And now everybody's got to come to him for answers and solutions. And he's got to be there for everybody. And that's just impossible, especially considering how many people there were in that group of people. But I like what happens here. Jethro, his father-in-law, doesn't say it's sinful. He doesn't say it's immoral. What he was saying is it's just unsustainable. And when we find ourselves getting too heavy in the weight of leadership, that's usually what it is. We're living out our responsibilities in ways that are unsustainable, that you will not be able to continue without doing something that involves others. So many leaders burn out not because they're doing bad things, but because they're doing too many good things. Things that others could carry that they were never meant to carry. So here's some questions you should ask yourself if you're a leader and it's getting kind of heavy. You could ask yourself, what am I carrying that belongs to someone else? Or what am I controlling that should be delegated and released? What am I worrying about that belongs to God? You know, as a believer, as a Christian, I don't know if you're a believer or a Christian. I am a believer and a Christian. I can just tell you, there are times that I realize, man, I'm carrying this and I really need to give this to God. I need God to handle this. I can't handle this. And sometimes we're carrying those things that are beyond our control, beyond our reach, beyond our power, and it just gets too heavy. Leadership becomes lighter when ownership becomes clearer. You know, what is ownership? Well, ownership means I'm responsible for not to do everything, but to make sure everything gets done. Owners go the extra mile. Owners do all the things that owners do, but they also, if they want to have an effective organization and not die, they have to do some things that will help them carry the weight of it. And one of those things is build teams. In our organization, at our church organization, Lifeway, we always say to every staff person, what your number one job is building teams. So if you go to any staff member at either Lifeway location, here's what you're going to hear if you say, what is your job? The first job I have is to build teams. Why? Because we expect them to get their job done, but the way they get it done is they don't have to personally do it, but they need to lead others to get it done because it's way too much for them to do on their own. We have to build teams. And not only that, it's not just about getting the job done. It's about building people. It's about growing leaders. It's about developing others. We're not just trying to gather followers. That's immature leadership. We're trying to develop leaders. That's staying power. So share responsibility, build teams, share responsibility, develop leaders, trust people, release outcomes you cannot control. I want to stop for a minute and say, I know a lot of leaders that don't trust people. And you know, trust, everyone says, is earned. But I look at it this way, trust is given, distrust is earned. So if I feel like I have somebody on my team that I've chosen to be on my team, listen, I'm going to trust them till they give me reason not to. Because if you're sitting trying to control every little thing in your organization, forget about it. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get there. You are the bottleneck. You're the problem. And it makes it heavier on you. So release control of things. Trust people. And if they give you a reason to distrust them, then deal with it when it happens. But don't live your life because someone somewhere sometime gave you reason to distrust them, and now all humanity gives you reason to distrust them. That's silly. That's like saying because you've been hurt when you were in love that you'll never love again. It's silly. Listen, the greatest things in life always come with the opportunity of pain. It just is the way it is. And so if you're so afraid of pain or hurt or disappointment that you won't live your life. Well, that's sad for you. And I would encourage you to be a leader who opens up, be a leader who empowers, be a leader who releases, be a leader who doesn't have to be the smartest person in the room or controlling every little thing. Be a leader who wants others to succeed. That doesn't just help them, it helps you. You were called to lead faithfully, but you were never called to hold the universe together. So stop trying. I know that sounds, very hyperbolic, but it really is the truth. Why do we spend so much time trying to hold on to everything because somehow we think we've got it all together? Listen, it just doesn't work that way. So leadership is heavy, but leadership was never meant to be carried alone. So if it's too heavy, it's because you don't have enough leaders leading alongside you. So build your team, develop your leaders, trust God with what God can do instead of what you're trying to do when He should be handling it. We'll see you the next time on All In Leadership Podcast, and we're going to talk about something that I think will help you with this whole heaviness of leadership, and that is leaders who create leaders. Thanks for being a part today. And listen to me, if you'll help us, we can really help a lot of people. So hit that bell so you get, every time we do an episode, it reminds you, and subscribe to the channel and share it with others if you think what we're teaching and doing could be helpful to them. God bless you and have a great week.